Okay, in any conversation, if I want to empower somebody else, I want to be curiosity-led. I want to lead with that versus make assumptions or make judgments about other people. So there's something here that I think you can take away, and that is in our ratio of how many questions we ask somebody, a coworker, a family member, versus how many statements we make. I want to ask more questions than I give statements. So whether I'm trying to build a relationship or network with somebody, whether I'm trying to coach somebody up, I want to do that by being curious, or whether I'm trying to understand why somebody made the decision that they made that makes no sense to me. I want to ask questions because I can get to the bottom of something better by asking questions than by making judgments and assumptions. I can help somebody out and understand what they're going through better if I'm leading with curiosity than if I'm making an assumption. You know, if in a networking situation, I ask somebody what they do and they tell me their job and then they ask me what I do and I start talking about myself for 10 minutes, that's a 1-to-1 ratio. But if I ask somebody what they do and they tell me, and then I followed up with another question and say, what's your favorite part of your job? You know, what's the next step in your career? Where do you see your career going? What's your favorite part of your job? And, you know, how do you think you could spend more of your time doing that? Now they're telling me more information about themselves as a human being, and that builds a connection. Number 2 is giving autonomy to other people. Autonomy to us is the ability to do your job without people looking over your shoulder. Okay, people who do not have autonomy a lot of times feel like they're being micromanaged by others. So if you are in a position of any sort of authority, can we help people become more independent today than they were yesterday versus just as dependent on you as their manager? Number 3 is help people achieve mastery. It doesn't matter if I have any sort of ownership or authority to divvy up responsibilities and to dish out who does what. I can always offer my help. I can provide a recommendation like you did today. I can ask people, you know, what's the skill set you'd like to build? What's the next skill you'd like to develop? What aren't we providing to you right now in terms of training that you'd like to be trained on? What's the timeline on that? How much do you think it would cost? Let's talk about it and try to figure out how to make that happen. So we can help people become the best at what they do, or to become great at what they do in areas that they have interest in by just asking those questions and offering our help. Even the recommendations. You know, I don't know if I could tell you that, but I know somebody that went through a course that sounds like kind of what you're talking about. Maybe I could connect the two of you. Maybe I could send you that link. Number 4 is help people explore their purpose. So on a random Tuesday, if you're doing your job and you feel like you're in the grind, in the trenches, if you've talked to somebody recently about why you do what you do, why you truly do what you do, what your favorite part of the job is, what really lights you up about that job, if you can keep that in mind when things are tough on that Tuesday, when you feel like you've got a long week ahead of you and you're really busy, it's been a tough day, someone's been rude to you, if you've had that conversation and you know that your leader or somebody is invested in your success and cares about why you do what you do and has asked you that question and is actively helping you try to develop throughout that organization, it's going to be a lot easier to get through that tough moment. And number 5 here is empower other people through coaching. I think a lot of people think coaching is having a whistle and yelling at somebody to go do this or do that, you know, get down in a defensive stance kind of thing. And our take on coaching is it's so much more about asking questions than it is about giving answers. So whenever I'm coaching a client, when we're coaching somebody, even if I'm sneakily coaching somebody within our own team, when I'm being coached, questions are a lot more powerful. Hey, what do you think of as the next level of your career? What's really the story behind this issue? Where do you want to go and how can I help you get there? What are your options? What do you think you could do? If you had to get 20 minutes a day back, how do you think you could do that? Where could you find 20 minutes where maybe previously you didn't think you even could? You know, I had a client a month ago tell me that it felt like they were trying to boil the ocean in their job. It just feels like I'm boiling the ocean. Well, if it ever feels like that's an overwhelming feeling. If things feel like that, how do we make sure that we can keep our goals a little bit more narrow and just think, well, I don't have to boil the ocean. I just have to find 20 minutes a day to replace something that I'm doing that's not helping to something that I want to do, that I'm good at, that I love doing, that's going to add value to the organization, or even in a personal sense, just spend my time with family for 20 more minutes a day. That's 100 more hours a year that we can get back by empowering ourselves and empowering others. So last thing here, I would challenge you that if you're interested in taking notes, answer that question. How are you going to get 20 minutes back? And who is going to need to help you with that? What will have to happen? And what's that next step to getting 100 hours in the next 12 months back? And then replacing those with activities that are going to help you and help those around you.